Redeeming the game. Redeeming the game. Redeeming Redeeming the game. Redeeming the game. Redeeming the game.
The Redeeming the Game podcast. I'm your host, Coach Matt Sanders, and boy, oh boy, do we have one in store for you today. I am joined by two incredible basketball coaches. Philip somewhat played for me for about 5 seconds and then decided it was better to not play for me and become an assistant coach. And then Coach Zach Kirkman played for me for a short time or a long time, just depending on how you, in fact, we could talk about that for a long time, right, Zach?
Yeah.
So I got Mr. Coach Philip Parker from Emmaus University, and then Mr. Coach Zach Kirkman on the podcast today. Welcome, gentlemen. Glad you're here.
Good to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, super excited for both of you being here. Coach Philip, I'm going to swing the rock to you. We would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, all about your family, what you're doing, how long you've been in Emmaus, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, well, appreciate you having me on the podcast. This is fun. Caught up on a couple of them last week, or I guess this week, and you're doing really good stuff. So appreciate you a lot.
Thank you.
My name is Philip Parker. I'm the head men's basketball coach here at Emmaus University in Dubuque, Iowa. We just finished our 4th season. I say we, including I count my wife as part of my coaching staff. She's my I could say my most beautiful assistant coach. But 4th season here, and got to do some really cool things in my life and our lives, and just really excited. Stopped at a couple of the places. My first stop was with Coach Sanders, his towel boy for his bald head. I just carried his towel so he could wipe sweat off his head. Pinnacle of my career there.
Wow.
But I had a great time. Learned so much from him. And really, for many years, he taught me everything I knew, and so just really excited to be on this podcast. I've got actually going back up. I got one son, Barrett. He's 3.5. He has taught me a lot about being a coach.
Come on,
which
yes,
is pretty
sir.
cool. Zach's probably going to say something pretty similar.
Yeah, come on.
But yeah, really excited to talk basketball and talk about the gospel and
Come on.
what God is doing through our teams.
Let's go. Well, thank you, Coach Philip. And I will interject quickly. You did way more than hold a towel or even hold a clipboard. In fact, the other guy on this screen, we recruited together, right? There is a picture. We won't post that picture, but that picture, if I had a chance to flash it on the screen right now, I would. And I might later when I edit, but
You should do it. It's a good one.
Yeah. So and then super excited. So Philip coached men's basketball. Zach is a women's college basketball coach. Coach Zach Kirkman, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Coach Zach. Matt, thanks for having me on. I played 5 years for Coach Matt. That's too long. 5 years at Calvary University. That's where I met my wife, Talitha. And Talitha was actually on staff with me for my first 2 years coaching, like on the sideline.
Well played.
With a clipboard. She was there to help keep my head above water while figuring out how to coach women's teams. And then she stepped down after my 2nd year, going into my 3rd year. And we had Easton at the end of that year. That's our son. He's now 13 months, maybe 14. But it's been a blast having him this last year with the team and just seeing the girls invest in him. And I'm super excited for this next year because he's crawling around and talking and he's shooting a basketball.
Come on.
Seeing him in the gym with the girls is going to be a lot of fun. And then going into my 5th season at Faith Baptist and just really enjoying getting to put into practice what I learned from Coach Matt. I worked for Coach Brian here at Faith too, and just being able to grow in my super young coaching career.
Well, first of all, I should also say that this is an honor for me because I think this is kind of every old coach's dream, although I don't know how old I really am. But we won't talk about ages. Just
You're pretty old.
Yeah, pretty old. The haircut hides it. And it's fresh today, boys. And so
in the truck.
no, that's only on the face. And I don't have
Yeah, Subaru now, Zach.
yeah, I don't have a truck
Subaru,
anymore. We have a Subaru now.
Yeah.
See, you're gonna have this is
Same.
what
I
happens
gotta
when you don't come to the
I-
invite. That's what happens. It's an honor for me because I love you both very much, and I am try to not get a little emotional just how proud I am of both of you. You both mean a ton to me. You both are phenomenal basketball coaches, but more importantly, now you're both phenomenal husbands and dads. And I know from having a young little boy grow up in basketball with young ladies and young men, to be able to pour into them is something you will never, ever regret. Just all of the kids and the players, including you two, who have poured into AJ. And my son loves everybody. And even though, like, it's funny, when we're going to see somebody, April, like, well, do you remember Coach Phillip? And he's like, he gets the squint look, or do you remember Coach Zach? He's like, oh, Zach. And then we'll see her face, and he goes, Dad, I remember him. And so, like, and the good thing about kids is they grow favorites, but the favorites get older, and so they get older, and it's a whole thing. But it's really worth it, and they are going to truthfully be changed by the players that you coach. And so I'm proud for both of you, and your wives are amazing people. Tell them that I love them both very much. Really grateful for them. So, all right, this is how we're going to start this bad boy today. We're going to go rapid fire. Let's do it this way. We'll go with the youngest person in the room, Mr. Zach Kirkman. You will go first on each of these, and then Phillip, you'll be able to pull up the old man, the caboose here. All right, rapid fire questions. Your favorite coach all time?
Shea Gilgeous-Allen. No, I'm just kidding. I was telling Coach Matt how I just want to talk about Shea the whole time. But favorite coach all time, probably Tony Bennett. I just really like his defense, his philosophy there, his standards that he has for his program. I thought I was more of a defensive coach coming into coaching. I think I'm more offensive, but so that really helps me just have a foundation for what we do defensively.
Cool. That's cool. Coach Parker?
That's tough. That's like picking your favorite player. I'd say the most intriguing coach that I think about a lot is actually Pat Summitt.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, just a fascinating character. So successful, really fascinating person. Just the story of her life and what she did, how she coached, how she led, her discipline, the respect that she got from her players, obviously being really good. Just fascinates me. She's just a really interesting character.
Come on. Okay.
Interesting. Well,
go ahead. Hit
so
it.
interesting story. When I was like 10, my dad took me to an Arkansas women's basketball game. And I was like, why are we going to a women's basketball game? Which is a hot topic now because I'm a women's coach.
That's funny.
But we showed up to the game, and it was versus Tennessee. And we sat behind the bench of Tennessee because it was like, no, and I was like, that was the moment where I was like, man, like she demands so much attention just in her huddles with her team. You can tell her team respected her. That was kind of the moment where I was like, man, I think coaching is something that I would want to do someday. So I could echo Pat Summitt.
Wow.
That's a cool story, Zach.
That's a great story. That's
actually one of my topic.
I'm just saying, I saw her coach in person.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Cool. Zach, Coach Zach, what is the best leadership book you've ever read or listened to, for that matter?
Best leadership book that I've ever read is probably Men of Courage. My old boss, you could say, the dean at Calvary when I was there as a student, he had me read that. And I think just walking through what it looks like to be a man in today's age, and to live with courage looks a lot different than, how powerful your voice is or how strong you are physically. But what true courage and what being a true leader is.
Woo, what a word.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Coach P?
I can't remember the title.
Oh.
No, man, there's so many good. I try to read 3 books every day, not whole books, parts of 3 books every day. I read
I was
scripture.
like, that
So
is impressive.
That
yeah,
is
3 whole books a
impressive.
day.
Three
Um,
whole-
read basically a coaching or leadership book, and I read like a theology or Christian character book. And I'd say the one I'm reading right now, Disciplines of a Godly Man, not leadership necessarily, but kind of a classic. It's been out for a while, but just tremendous wisdom.
Come on.
And really been impacting me.
Yeah.
Another one a mentor sent me is called Managing Leadership Anxiety.
Oh.
Really incredible book, basically talking about how leading almost feels and how we lead from our weaknesses to an extent.
Wow.
Really, I mean, it's really a convicting book, but it's one of those that like I'm going to go back to constantly. There's just so much gold in it.
That's powerful. I can't tell you, the longer you coach, the more times you're going to get asked this question. And I can't tell you how many times I get asked this question. I get in front of another coach. Well, what's your favorite leadership book? My favorite all time is Lead for God's Sake. Don't know if you've read that one. I was reading the end of it on the way back from I was coaching women, Zach, at Truett, and we're on the way back from a game, and I'm finishing the book, and the end of the book is like one of the most gripping endings to any kind of leadership book on the planet. It's so personal. And my assistant looks over, she goes, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "This is incredible." And I just weep like a baby. And the end of the book, it got me so much that I like literally, every time somebody asks me, Lead for God's Sake. It's amazing. All right. Last question. What is the most underrated coaching skill?
Oh man, most underrated. I think it'll be interesting to see Philip's answer. Mainly from Philip, but
delegation would maybe be a good one.
yeah,
Actually, that's true. I would say that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Okay.
That lead in. I'd say delegation, big time.
Good.
Be able to delegate and trust people to do their job.
Woo.
Zach, I'm leaning more towards managing emotions, and I'm thinking that more maybe on the women's side.
Sure.
But just that's something that I didn't really anticipate going in as a coach. And you got 15 people that are all different and have different emotions and different skill sets and different,
So good.
Everything. Being able to manage all of that, specifically when it comes to their emotions and how they operate.
Okay. Well, we have reached the point in the podcast where I'm gonna hit a couple things. First, I just want to say to all of you who are watching and are listening to this podcast, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Every time you download, every time you share, every time you like, every time you repost, every time we are reaching coaches with this. And I just want to say thank you. So if you're not doing that, like, subscribe, and repost every chance you get with this podcast. I'm grateful for it. The second part of this is I have for you, what people are watching and are going to listen. We are going to freewheel this thing with some questions that'll keep us on track. But we three really love each other, and so this is going to be probably a lot of laughs and maybe some serious moments as we kind of dive into the basketball journey. And so what I want to start with is a serious question. You're welcome to laugh about whatever you say. And both of you, I just want to give you some freedom. Jump right in after each other go and don't hold back. Share with these people what your journey has been like. So when did both of you realize that coaching was in your future?
Yeah, I think for me, it was at a really young age. I would say 2 defining factors. One was what I talked about with Coach Summit and just watching the game, and just seeing the impact that she had on people. And then another one is when I was training in Arkansas with some other teammates that didn't have fathers in their life that were strong or any really strong leadership in their life. And basketball was kind of all they had, which is a lot of the basketball community.
Yeah.
That's something that really impacted me because my dad is very impactful in my life. And so to know that there's kids out there that don't have that, and that basketball is all they have, that was something I wanted to be a part of in other people's lives.
Wow.
Through the game of basketball.
Come on. That's powerful.
Way less cool than Zach's. I grew up in a basketball desert. Like basketball just wasn't really anything. It was pretty bad where I come from. Shout out, go Big Red. But actually, no, I guess now they're known for basketball. So
They are. And apparently softball right now.
Yeah, their
play
baseball and
softball
softball
and
teams are good.
Sheesh.
just everything but football. Anyways, for some reason, I just gravitated to the sport. Not really sure why. Again, like it wasn't whether we were good. It wasn't that I was even that good. We're a football town, and so I played football too. But something about basketball just kind of gripped me. And just kind of, I just stuck to it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know, even looking back, like I didn't even know what hard work was necessarily in basketball.
Wow.
But I knew I really loved the game. I'd sit in a class with one of my high school coaches, who was also the computer science teacher, and we'd mostly just talk basketball. Maybe I'll tell him that. I think he's retired now, so maybe he's safe. But we just talked basketball, and it was great. And we just again, like super simple stuff, but I really just was pretty attached to it. And so I knew, even from 8th grade, I was like, I want to coach basketball. And then went to college, hopes to play, and had some health issues. And so at that point, what really changed though was, I think, I don't know, there were several conversations between you and Coach Regier where I was like kind of a turning point of, where do I go? Right. Because I was going to pursue high school coaching, teaching, and or just not even sure. I was thinking there's some other things that were pretty interesting to me. And there were several people, and you included, Coach, that really helped push me into, hey, you're passionate about this.
Come on.
And you really gave me a love for college basketball specifically. I just had such a great experience. Even still, I look back on the great times we had, some of the trips we went on. I don't remember any of the wins or losses, to be honest.
Me neither.
I remember Zach was hurt all the time, but that's about it. But
So true.
Through that experience, seeing your impact on me and others, I knew, like, okay, this is really where God was leading me and pushing me into really discipleship through basketball. And that
all right. So that's powerful. And I want to stick with you right here. Zach will come to you. But what you mentioned playing, and you actually talked about Zach being injured, and I actually think that's really important in this question. So what now as a coach do you appreciate more that you didn't as a player?
Man, everything. I don't think I really even thought very much as a player. And that was, to an extent, so long ago. I was joking with you guys. I mean, I'm working on some moves right now, and it's not going as well as I want to. My pro hop's a little bit clunky. But I think it just, what do I appreciate now as a player is the question.
Yeah. Well, what do you appreciate now as a coach that you didn't as a player?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd love to hear Zach's thoughts on this one. I mean, there's
I know there's a lot there for sure, but I know it's a bit of a loaded question, but you had mentioned playing, and then and actually, like, for context, Zach was hurt, not a ton, but enough to cause some bumps in the road. And so I would love to hear that, especially from and Philip, you went through some health issues. Both of you had health issues, just in different ways. And so, like, that affected the way you played and how much you played and how much you didn't play. So, like, what now, looking back on that, like your playing career, like, what do you appreciate more now than you did then?
Yeah, I think for me, the first thing I think of is like we had that year. Philip, I think you were already um, gone um, at a different job, but the year that we won regionals, right? And that was really awesome as a player. And it was exciting. I remember the game. I remember the celebration. I was injured for that game, right? I tore my ACL, 4 games before that or whatever, like right before postseason started. But just remembering that season and the buildup, and then I was super blessed 2 years ago to have, a pretty talented team and win the conference tournament. We beat a team that we'd been struggling against, my whole time here, and to kind of climb that hill to get that conference championship. I think the thing that I appreciate more about having that success as a coach and then having that success as a player is when you're the coach, like you see the whole picture. Like you
Yeah.
see each player's growth. You're in those meetings with the players that are struggling, right?
Yeah.
That only you and that player know. And you get to walk through that with everybody. And it's like not everybody on the team knows all that. So you win a championship, it's like, great, this is awesome, it's fun.
Yeah.
But to be able to sit back as a head coach and see the whole picture, and see, everything that was put into that.
Wow.
I think that's super special. And then on the flip side of that, like we were not very good this last year, record wise, I would say. But you see the same stuff, right? Like you see the hard
Sure.
work that's being put in. You see
Yeah.
the victories in life that are being won. We had a girl on our team get saved this last season. So to me, we were 6-18. It's a successful season because
Yeah.
somebody on
Come
the
on.
team got saved.
Come on. That's good. That's right.
So you see all that stuff that maybe when you're just a player on the team, you don't get the whole picture.
Wow. It's powerful. Philip, you
Yeah,
may swing it back
I
to you.
jump on there too. Yeah. And just basically the same stuff Zach was saying, just the I think broadly just the perspective, kind of like Zach was saying, you see the whole picture and as a coach, yeah, you see perspective of, hey, this is where we were maybe in September, October, and this is where we are now in January, February. As a player, like I never really saw that. I couldn't see those, even that growth. But also too, just man, the amount of work it takes to do anything. Like as a player, I just had no idea.
That's good. That's
Just
really
no
good, coach.
clue at all.
Really good.
Even as an assistant and working with you, I had no idea what your job was like. Right. I was literally just like basically going along for the ride, having fun, doing the fun stuff. And now, yeah, kind of having, and honestly, like a pretty good chunk of time under my belt. And now seeing, okay, this happened 7 years ago. I did this, and it's happening again. Oh, I can actually see these things kind of piecing together.
So good.
It's all of it is, man. It just is. It's work, and you got to love it, but you got to
That's
do
right.
it.
Yeah.
But just every hard conversation requires some preparation, right? Every game requires tons of preparation,
Wow.
all that stuff.
Good.
And those are just things I had no appreciation for until probably more recently than I like to admit.
Yeah, and I would it's funny because I'm jumped into this daily social media posting for coaches, not because I wanted to, but because I really felt like that's one of the pathways the Lord wanted me to go from coaching to coaching, right? And literally the post today was like, I coached 3 different types of teams and they all had the same attribute. Everything was growing. We were growing in whether we won a championship, whether we were 500 or we lost a bazillion games. The growth in it, as I'm listening to both of you, at the center of this is we're all growing. And the thing you don't get to recognize as a player that you do as a coach is you get to watch it live. You get to watch a kid that comes in as a freshman, and when they're a senior, they're like, like what? Let's just go back and look. So those your responses are so powerful to me because of the growth that you are now being able to see. And I think it's gold. I think that's coaching gold right there. That is a gold nugget. You coaches who are watching, don't lose sight of what you're doing. Zach made a statement. Biblically, it talks about Jesus talks about leaving the 99 to go after the one every time. And for all of us, that no one or 101 wins would never cover that one, that soul that has now been that name's been written, in the Lamb's Book of Life. So that's powerful. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. So you both coach the same with two different genders, and it's very different. In fact, I was actually thinking about bringing it up, and I'm gonna bring it up anyways in our text thread. Zach actually asked Philip, would you want to switch positions? And Philip's like, I would be the worst women's basketball coach ever. And I
tells me all the time.
Yeah, and
and my assistant said the same thing too.
Yeah. So what I want to say, I want to ask two questions as it pertains to this. So Zach, I want you to speak from the women's perspective to men, and then Philip, I want you to speak from the men's perspective to women in this way. What do you see as the biggest difference in coaching in coaching those two genders? What do you both see? Like, because you're sitting in a seat coaching women and you're sitting in a seat coaching men, but you work with men coaches and you work with women coaches. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, outside of the fact that, and this is my plug for the NCCA and NCAA, is that women's basketball should be played on 9-foot hoops. But outside of the fact of the athletic difference between men and women, I think women just process the game differently, and that's something that I had to learn. My first year was a huge struggle in that, and a lot of it has to do with the level that I coach at too, and the players that I can get. A lot of them just come from teams where it's small schools and they don't have access or resources for high quality coaching. So simple things they just don't know. I can say this because I told it to her face. But my fourth year, she laughs about it today. My fourth year, senior captain, point guard. When I got here, my first year, I was yelling at them our first game because we were getting pressed and we were getting denied. And I was yelling at them to backdoor cut, and we got beat by, like 50 probably. Who knows? And after the game, she comes up to me and she's like, "Coach, what's a backdoor cut?" And I was like, "Man, this is like this."
I remember the text. I remember the text. I remember the text.
It was. I was like, "What have I gotten myself into?" And that was just the level of where we were at that time. I don't think I have that now.
Sure.
But like they just don't. I mean, they're not playing NBA 2K, right? They're not watching the NBA. They're not watching, March Madness. Not all of them. So just simple basketball stuff that guys will. I remember in college, like we'd just sit down and watch, every March Madness game that's on that day.
Right.
Whether it's Wright State versus Virginia or whatever.
Sure.
But I don't. That's not women choose to use their time more wisely, which means they know less.
Very valid.
I do think that they are more in talking with Philip. Maybe Philip, you can speak to this. I think that the girls that I've coached, and I don't know, I've only coached at one place, but they're more coachable, or they're more willing to listen. They don't think, I know better, I'm right. They're willing to listen. Which then puts a lot of pressure on me because they're pretty much just doing everything that I say. So when they mess up, it's like, oh, that's my bad.
What you got, Coach P?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a tough question, and that's a great answer, Zach. So thanks for setting this up really well. I think a couple of things that the last thing Zach said about coachability. I don't think guys are not coachable. I think maybe they could be. But yeah, I mean, I'd say there are days where I would love my guys to do exactly what I tell them to do. And the challenge is, well, I have to communicate better, right?
Okay.
I can't just assume they're going to do it. But the other thing too, I think that, and I've never coached women's basketball, so this is, I don't know, Zach, maybe tell me if this is crazy or not. But I guess in some conversations with our volleyball coach here at Emmaus, and very successful. But we had a conversation this fall. Sorry, my dog is needs attention.
Good.
And they were going through kind of a rough couple of weeks of their season, and she just kept being consistent. I don't think she really changed anything. I think she was pretty consistent. Maybe made a few adjustments. And so, really, the thought with that is just the idea of patience, of being
That's
really
so
patient
good.
with your
Yeah.
team. And I say that as in that's what I need to do. Okay, I don't know if Zach needs to be more patient with his team or not, but that's something that I could take from her. Something I can kind of even pull from Zach here from
So
what he
good.
just shared.
So
Just
good.
the idea of, hey, I can't expect you to be a February team in December, and I'm okay with waiting for that. Or I can't expect you to play like a senior as a sophomore, right? I'm okay with, hey, let's.
Good.
I heard somebody talk about, like, we don't put players in a box. We want to put them on a line, right? I'm okay with being patient with you for 3-4 years, because I know where you're going to go. I can see where you're going to go, and I'm not going to. And I struggle with this. I'm not going to expect you to do what you can't do right now, which is
Wow.
hard for me, right?
It's tough.
Really
Yeah.
hard for me to do. Like with guys, I can not really get away with it, but maybe do more than I should. With women, I don't know if I could do that. That'd probably crush my team pretty quick when I've crushed my fair share of teams. But I don't know. I don't know if that doesn't really answer your question, but I think that's kind of what
No,
comes
I
to
think
mind.
no, I think it does. I think it absolutely. I think both of you answered it brilliantly. I think it's interesting because and before 5 years ago, as you both know, when God really changed my life, and for the first time I knew the origin story of basketball. I didn't really understand what you just said. I didn't understand that there was a full-blown process to this entire game that was written out in history. That when Dr. Naismith created it, he created it to grow people in character, for it to be enjoyed, and then to win men to the master, Jesus, through the gym. And I didn't know that. And what those three things did for me did exactly what you said. It put kids on a line instead of in a box. Like now we're going from point A on that line to point B. And I'm going to walk with you and be with you in that path. And I'm not going to expect you to be anything that you aren't already are. I'm going to expect you to be exactly what God designed you right now. And as you grow, I'm going to walk with you. And I didn't know that before. I was very much what you're talking about, Philip, like very impatient, expected this. I had this high level expectation. So I think that's why what you said, both of you said, is so powerful. And I do think it is because I've coached both, not of my own choice, except once. I've coached both, and both of your statements are very true of both of them, that the girls do really have an ability to take what you say and almost become robotic, which drives you crazy as a coach. But then on the flip side, you kind of want the guys to be that way a little bit, but also with the freedom of their athleticism. And those two, that's it's a fine line. It's an extremely, extremely fine line. Okay. All right. Next question. What would both of you say that most coaches? Hold on. Let me reframe the question. What mistakes do most coaches make when trying? And this is important with the ladies and the guys when trying to connect with athletes.
Good question. For me, I struggle. I can make it. I'm kind of tend to be an analytical thinker, so I can make it a checklist almost. Like I really want to invest in my guys. I want to know them, but I also need to put them sometimes on a calendar. Okay, or I need to put this meeting or this lunch in the calendar, and it is easy for me to kind of think, okay, this is a to-do thing, right?
Wow.
And they know that, right?
Sure.
My guys are really smart. Right? They know my faults probably better than anybody else. But just being real and caring for them
Come on.
is something I don't think I early on, like I thought I did, but I probably didn't like I should have. And I've even apologized to most of my early guys.
Good. It's good.
But really, one of the things that transformed how I'm thinking about that was actually when Barrett was born. Like having a kid completely changed how I coach, because now it puts this relationship, this really odd kind of like, and especially for me and Zach, right? I just turned 30, so I'm like having this midlife crisis, and I've been coaching for 11 years. But like, and so that was actually crazy. That's maybe a different topic, but
Turning 30 is a different topic.
man, it's crazy. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I went from 29 to 30, and I'm like, I'm coaching like I'm like, who are these children? Like it's hard to, and it was weird. It really was a pretty interesting year. But anyways, where was I? Zach, you look good, man. I love the beard. I love the haircut. I just wanted to say that. I'm staring at you a little bit. But
My
having
wife
a
did it.
kid,
Good job,
it's
Felipe.
good.
Free
She did
of
really
charge.
good. She did really good. I don't let Tasha cut my hair, but yeah, she knows that.
Can't
She
wait
doesn't
for her to
watch
see
it.
this.
Yeah,
Shout
no
out
kidding.
Tasha. Shout
She's
out
probably
Tasha.
around the corner somewhere. But anyways, yeah, having a child like that put in perspective of, oh, this is kind of a framework for this relationship of, man, I really, really, really love Barrett. I want the best for him.
Wow.
I want to discipline him in love, right? I want to correct him in love, but also want to know that I love him, right?
Come
And
on.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how I relate to my team. And
Come
again,
on, man.
I'm not that much older than they are, but that really, really shifted my thought process. And I try to grow. I need to grow every year. I want to grow every year.
Sure. It's
But
good.
that's the biggest thing I think that has really
So good.
impacted how I'm relating to these guys.
Good. Zachary, come on, Coach Z, tell us.
Yeah, I think something that's been big for us in the last 2 years is focusing on the difference between being results driven and process driven. And I think like my girls have known that's been a struggle of mine. And I think they feel that, right? So kind of like what Philip was saying, like just getting a player meeting on the calendar, checking it off, being like, okay, here's where you're helping the team, here's where you're hurting the team. They can feel that when it's like, I got to get something from you and nothing else matters.
Come on.
We got to get this to get a win, right? I think they feel that, and I think that, that hurts their performance. Just like in life, if somebody's just trying to get something from you, that relationship's not going to go very well. So I think being process driven, right? That would be loving them for who they are, right?
Wow.
Being with them when they mess up. You're not there with a whip. I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but
It's too
you're
late
not.
now.
Yeah, you're not just just driving them, but you're loving them. You're caring
Come
for
on.
them. You're
It's good.
showing them the right direction. I think that's something that's been huge for me and my coaching and my changing. I even think on the girls' side, something that I was not maybe prepared for, that I learned really, really quickly, is you can't act or show them that you are disappointed, because they take that really, really personally.
Man,
Like
preach
super,
to the
yeah.
choir, bro.
We were playing a region team. No, yeah, we were playing a region
Boy, do
team.
I remember that.
We gave up 94 points in our gym. And I went in the locker room and I told them, like, you should be embarrassed that you gave up 94 points, right? Like you should never give up 94 points, much less in your gym, right? Like you can't let someone come in here and do that. And the next day my captains came to me and they were like, the girls are like hurt. Like they're like, we embarrassed you. Like that's how they felt, is that they embarrassed me. And
Oh, good.
again, not at all what I said, but that was the impact that they had
What a
on them.
powerful word.
Yeah, I learned from that. Like you got to be super careful with your words. And I think encouraging and uplifting, there's obviously a time for discipline and a time for correction.
Yeah, come on.
But I think the way that you do it really matters. And if you don't have a relationship with them, I think that's both ways, right? Guys or girls. If you don't have a relationship before,
Absolutely.
they're not going to take that.
Okay, so
Yeah, there really is. Oh, sorry.
Well, go
I
ahead.
was going to say there really is, like what Zach was saying is the same for me too. And I have a tendency to be pretty critical, but it's the same, right? I need to be very careful my tone and of making sure that even if I'm gonna say something critical, is it with the right intention, right? Is it with the intention of I'm trying to fix you or I'm trying to serve you? And even then, and again, like even this year, I did a million times, right? I was critical, or I pushed somebody when I shouldn't have, or all these things. I don't. Zach, you probably don't do that. But yeah,
I don't think I'm legally allowed to do that.
fair enough. But yeah, no, just words are powerful, and
Good.
because they come from your heart, and
So
so
good.
what we're saying matters.
Man.
What I said to my guys, and there's some stuff even I said to my team months ago that I'm like, man, that still is like, I should probably deal with this. I should probably apologize to them for that.
Well,
because
I think
again, it's so easy to go in and out of
it
I'm
is.
trying to fix you or I'm trying to serve you.
It is, and I want to speak to that because this is something I've said on the podcast probably 5 or 6 podcasts ago or weeks ago, that one of the things that I have learned over this, to be honest with both of you, over this podcast experience, is I'm learning things about myself and putting words to it that I didn't know actually existed. So what you're talking about is this transactional kind of thing that happens, and what it means to redeem the game and take it back to its origin actually means that what gets put in front of you is you become a transformation specialist. Your job is to walk with them in a transformative place, because what you want for them is to be transformed, right? Transformed by the renewing of your mind, and all of those things changed. And now you get metanoia, you get a whole change. You change the way you think about yourself, the way you think about God, and actually the way you think about the game, right? That's a powerful, being a transformation specialist is a different way to look at how you do what you do. And y'all are gonna laugh because Philip mentioned football earlier. You know my guy's Dabo Sweeney, and I just was scrolling past a reel, and I heard him screaming, and I was like, "What was that?" And I went back, and they were in a spring game, and he was full sprint running at a linebacker, and he jumped up in the air and put his hands on the guy's shoulders, and he said these words, and it shook my inside. So coaches, if you're listening and watching, or anyone else, if you're in need of leadership, hear what I'm about to say. He said, we played to a standard and not to the scoreboard. Imagine if you lived your own life this way and you coach this way, where your players understand that whatever the standard is that you set, that's what you play to. The scoreboard will take care of itself, because what ends up happening if you're not working towards transformation is they become scoreboard watchers in their whole lives, and now they're nothing but performers. They are literally nothing but performers. And then this is where the whole thing shifted for me 5 years ago, is instead of everybody's performing for God's acceptance, we are living for the standard in which Jesus set. Imagine that's a whole different lifestyle. And coaching that way is a whole different lifestyle. And playing that way, if you are playing to the standard. So when I'll share this story, and then I'm going to land the plane by asking you a really important question. But I walked into, I don't remember what game it was 2 years ago. It was Ryan Ulrichs was the leader at that time. And I sat down in front of him, and we were in complete disarray, like getting our brains beat in for no reason at all. We shouldn't have been losing. We were way more talented than that team or whatever. And I sat down and I said, what standard are we not playing to? And all of the sudden, the whole bench changed. Because what happened is everybody's looking at the scoreboard, we're down 25 or whatever the number was, I don't even remember. Well, when I went to the standard, everything changed. And then I said this, when you guys decide to play to the standard, the scoreboard will fix itself. But I want you to know that no matter what that scoreboard says, I love you just the same. Can you imagine what happened in that timeout? Well, I had a bunch of guys looking at me like I was an idiot. Because who says that, right? Right? Who says that's a wild statement? But what happened is it de-escalated the moment, and we went to the standard. Did we play better? Yeah. Did we win? I don't even, to be real honest, I don't remember. But I think to what you said, Philip, is powerful because the relationship with the players and leading them into a transformative place, and they're playing to the standard of Emmaus or faith or whatever that is, and also to Jesus Christ. But most importantly, how the game was designed, they will play differently. You won't have to pull it out of them. They'll do it themselves. And I asked this question a ton towards the end of coaching at Calvary. Do you really love this? Because you don't act like you love it. You do things way differently when you love it, right? Just, you both know this about your children. You do things completely different now than you did before because you love something that you know you can love with the amount of love. Y'all, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you'll flip that switch off at the office in a hurry. Now, way more than you did before, right? So, all right. So let's land the plane this way. It's a really good way to land it. What is Philip? I'm coming to you. What is actually, let me say this. I know you're working on your pro hop. I'm about to throw you. I
won't show you the video.
I'm about to.
I need you to send me that video.
No,
sorry.
No, I need
sent
to
it
see
to
this.
Nash.
Everybody needs to see this on the podcast.
It's pretty. It's slow, but it's good.
I'm about to throw you a 9-foot high lob, and you better dunk it. Okay, that's how easy this question is. What is one lesson God has taught you through coaching to this point?
One? That's not a.
And I know I'm asking for one. I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a million things.
In interviewing, it's called a leading question, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you. You want to land the plane because I'm about to take off again. I think the really cool thing about this job, and there's a lot of great things, is that there's like a cycle to it, right? Every year, I'm finding, I don't know. God teaches me something new every year. Like,
Come on.
Every year there's like another, like a piece he takes out of my simple nature, it seems like, that never ends. Like it's going to be a constant thing. But man, this last year was just, I think I learned, that to lead well, you have to have conviction. And you have to, make some tough choices with a lot of prayer and with a lot of input from wise people, and you got to do it and you got to stick to it, even if maybe it's not fun or your team doesn't like it, or maybe you look like the bad guy sometimes.
Come on, that's powerful.
But I really realized, like, man, loving my team, and I'm imperfect at it, but I really want to be great at loving my team. Sometimes that's like hard, and sometimes it doesn't come across as love to them. But yeah, it really just comes down to, like, man,
what a good word.
What is true? What are we actually doing? Right? Are we just playing basketball, or are we hoping to develop great godly men? And if the godly men piece is true, then we've got to do it.
Come on.
No matter what else happens.
It's powerful.
And that's tough. It just, I wish it was easier.
It's not.
I wish it was easy, but it wasn't. It isn't. And, but that's something I really, I'm still learning. But
that's good, Coach P. That's powerful. Zach, what you got?
I mean, a lot of things. One, I'm not any good at it. He's taught me that I'm not very good. But I think
you're not good at what?
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not good at what?
Anything.
At cutting your own hair?
You're full of it.
I would not. Yeah, that would look. It would look like your hair if I cut my own.
Mine looks good too.
No, but I just think being imperfect is hard, right? No matter what you do.
Good.
So learning how to have grace with yourself, and just, know that you're striving after good things, and striving after truth, like what Philip said. And I think the other thing for me is, like, I'm just in year 5, and my path looks a lot different than a lot of other coaches. I would say that even, Matt, more than anyone else, what my dreams were, right?
Yeah, sure.
And wanting to be at the top, wanting to go D1,
Yeah.
wanting to get to that level. And that's not where the Lord's leading me right now.
Come on.
And I
Powerful.
see that, and he's worked in that. And I think, just knowing that what I'm doing matters.
Come on.
It talks in Galatians about, don't grow weary of doing good.
Yeah.
And
Come on.
so to not grow weary of that, especially when you're in what I'm not really, 5 years is like the longest I've been in a place. So just to not grow weary of that.
Good.
I think it's super important.
Oh, that's powerful. I knew it would be a really. It's kind of somber. I'm not going to let the plane completely get on the ground with that question from both of you, because it's a pretty heavy one. But I want to say something to both of you and to all the listeners, that one of the things that God has taught me post coaching, and now in a whole different world of coaching, I want to say this to both of you: you are infinitely better than you think you are. And you are infinitely further away than you also think you are. And what I mean by that is, both of you are very talented because you love it. And the growth that you're going to see is going to feel like maybe you're being drugged through the mud face first, and it hurts, and there's going to be some tearing away. And yet on the other side of that, you're going to be infinitely better. And just for everybody out there, both of you are phenomenal basketball coaches. You're incredible people. And your record doesn't really even define to 1/10 degree of what kind of incredible championship coaches both of you are. So in saying that, I love you both in that way, and I want you to hear that. And the second thing is, here's the question that we're gonna finish with tonight. What in 20 years, in one word, I want you to think about this. In 20 years, what do you want your players to have said about you? I'll give you one or two words, or maybe a phrase. How about that? What do you hope let's rephrase it. What do you hope they remember about you?
I think for me, this is something I've really thought about in the last year.
Okay.
And this is it's going to sound super, maybe shallow right now, but I'll do a little explaining after my phrase. But I told my senior, or they're not seniors, they're junior captains. I told them that I want to be hard to play for. And what I mean by that, I feel like I've been too easy my first 4 years.
Okay.
And I've learned a lot. But I think kind of all of culminating what we've talked about so far, I want to be hard to play for, because I want to hold a standard that pushes you to be a better person, pushes you to be a better believer, pushes you to be better in the classroom, pushes you to be better in all aspects of life.
Good.
I want to be hard to play for because, we discipline ourselves. We have several team disciplines that I think translate right into life, similar to what you taught me, right?
Sure. Sure.
And so, holding to those disciplines, holding to those standards. So that's kind of where my mind went.
Powerful.
It's something
That's
I've been thinking
awesome.
about the last couple months.
That's awesome. What you got, Coach Parker?
That was the longest one-word answer I've ever heard.
I said
I
want to be hard to play
And,
for.
Yeah.
4 words.
Coach Sanders, Zach's a punk. You know this, right?
Yeah. So this is
Like, I'm not good at my
This is
job. And
nothing new.
you're what? One of the most successful
Yeah.
women's coaches in faith history, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to
in a
let you
few
do that.
years.
We're not going to. Thank you.
I
I
Coach
hate
Coach
you so
Parker,
much,
for
Zach.
not letting him do
Golly,
that.
man.
Yeah.
You are the worst.
Yeah.
All that being said,
So great.
flipping this real quick, I think the question is actually, not so much what I want them to remember me by, but what do I want to be in 20 years almost? Or maybe even the legacy. Like my desire is I want to be a great godly man. Like I want to win. I'm super competitive. I'd want to win a championship. Don't ever, like that's there too.
Good.
Okay.
That's
And I
good.
tell this to all my recruits. But ultimately, if in 20 years I'm not a more godly man who is great for God, then it doesn't matter.
Come on.
And that looks like a lot of different things. Sorry, this is a long one word, phrase answer too. But
That was the point.
that's something another thing, that's been really on my heart for months now is just this idea of like, let's be great godly men, great men
Good.
for God.
Come on.
And I think if that's what they remember, if that's actually what I was, if that's what I am.
Yeah.
That's the goal for me.
So good. Well, I think that both of you are well on your way in both of those areas, and I can see it in both of you. And I affirm what you're after, and I can see it. Actually, it's funny when I asked the question how it kind of pushed a button in both of you. Like you can see that God is actually working both in you. The scripture says working in you both the willing and the doing of His good pleasure in your life, right? So He is working those things. Excuse me, working those things in you, and I love to see it. I'm here for it, and so to totally land the plane. Thank you so much, both of you. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. You mean a lot to me, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds that I didn't give to Quez and Zeb. If you want to go roast central right here, if you got a story, you better tell it now before I shut this thing down.
I just remember you saying in the locker room, "Do it for your moms" or something. Do you remember that? Were you there, Zach?
I do not remember that. I do remember
I remember saying it. Yeah,
man, that speech, your halftime speeches were just wonderful, Coach Sanders. I did not get that.
You're being right now.
I did not get that gift from you. I did not learn that one. My halftime speeches are like board meetings. But I just remember so adamantly, do it for your moms.
Wow,
yeah, I mean, just maybe moms in general. I don't know, but that one sticks out to me.
That's good. What you got, Coach Kirk?
No, I don't know why this reminded me. This is not even good. But when in the weight room, when you sat down with the whole team, you remember how you hosted us on Sunday nights?
Yeah.
Everyone, and then you brought us all into the weight room, and you were like, I don't even know if April was there or not, but you were talking about how you basically put your arm. I think she was there because you put your arm around her and said, "Me and April are gonna take a break." And like that's all you left it at. And the whole team, everyone was dead silent for like 30 seconds, like just looking. We were like, "What?" And you were like, "From like hosting Sunday night, like we're just gonna take a couple of weeks off." We were all like, "What?" That was wild.
Oh, I remember both of those statements, and I remember afterwards getting roasted for both of those. So the fact that you both remember them are fantastic.
Oh,
Zach, do you remember carrying the dummy around campus?
Well, the commercial still runs
on the live. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, it does.
That was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Coach, my assistant coaches want me to bring that one up here to the
Nick. I think
I'm show you how to do it.
Dubuque.
I know a guy. Well, I love you both. I really, really appreciate you both. And for all of you watching, as I said earlier, make sure you subscribe and you like and you share. Really, really want to get this story. These two amazing coaches and what they're doing at Emmaus University and Faith Baptist Bible College, both of them, whether it be male or female teams, are just really lighting up for the kingdom. And so we do want to continue to get this word out there. And we want to draw more coaches into the fold of knowing what this game was designed for, right? And both of you, at the heart of who you are, you really want to win men and women to the Master Jesus through the gym. And so that's what this thing is about. And as I say every week, I will always put in the show notes the 10 things that I wish I knew as a young head coach. That PDF is free. Make sure you download it. My email is there, matt@redeemingthegame.com. Please email me. I would love to hear from you. Coach Parker, Coach Zach Kirkman, I love you both. I'm really, really grateful for you. Thank you for being here.
Love you, Coach.
For having me.
Yeah.
And as we say every week, we are redeeming this game one player, one family, and one coach at a time. I hope this blesses you.
Redeeming the game. Redeeming the game. Redeeming the game. Redeem in the game. Redeem in the game. Redeem the game.